This episode is brought to you by theweddingplanner.co.nz. Welcome back to the Kiwi Wedding Podcast. My name is Lydia. I am your host and a wedding photographer at Lydia Rachel Photography. You will have to excuse my slightly nasal tones today. I have caught a cold that is going around, which is just giving winter, and it's only March, which is just technically still summer for me, so that is so annoying. Hopefully not too many intros like this year, but I will keep this one short. I had a lovely chat with Catherine on the podcast today. She got married at the beautiful Black Walnut Venue in the Bay of Plenty, and we chat through her whole story. She has some amazing advice, and her day was photographed by Eilish Burt, who has really beautiful kind of vintage style work. So definitely pop over to Instagram to check out some of her photos. And we're actually going to get right into it today. So enjoy episode 87 with Kat. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. So excited to chat all about your wedding.
Thank you so much for having me. Very honoured to be here.
So to get started with, if you could just tell me a bit about you and your partner, how you guys met, and your life together.
So I'm Catherine, or most people call me Kat, and I am a dentist. And my husband is Dunk, and he is a lawyer. And we live in Auckland, and probably the most interesting thing about us is we've got a 1-year-old golden retriever puppy who is literally like a child to us. So he's the light of our lives. But we met in Dunedin probably about 8 years ago now. We were both studying uni down there. And we actually met through a mutual friend. It was a bit of a setup. I don't know if you've heard of a red card before, but basically it's an excuse for someone to organise like a night of drinking, typical uni activities, and it involves like challenges and stuff like that. But a girl that I was flirting with at the time, she organised one, and we all had to bring someone, and she was really keen to kind of set me up with someone. So she actually showed me a bunch of pictures of different guys. Very cringe, I know, but
it's like manual dating app.
Yeah,
so
literally.
good.
And a picture of Dunk came up, and I was like, oh yeah, he's pretty cute. So poor Dunk, completely oblivious to the whole thing, was set up as my partner for the night. I think one of the first challenges we had to do was scull a bottle of wine between the two of us, and so Dunk just took it upon himself to literally scull the whole bottle to try and impress me, and obviously works because here we are now. We moved back we've been back in Auckland for about 6 years now, just working. So that's how we met.
Oh, so cool. Love that story. Little mutual friends, so good. More people need to do that, honestly. So you guys were together for a while and then got engaged. Can you tell us a bit about your proposal story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. So we got engaged down in Whangamata. It's a place we go quite often. Dunk's family, they have a batch down there, so we tend to go there, I guess, quite a few times during the year. I was a little bit suspicious, not gonna lie. I'm like a dog with a bone. Like I don't like surprises. So there are a few little things that kind of like, I don't know, got me kind of thinking that maybe it was going to happen. Like one of my best friends, she was like, I think we need to go get our nails done. And technically I'm not allowed to have my nails done for work, and she knows that. So I was like, this is a little bit suspicious. And then Dunk's family usually head down on long weekends as well down to the beach, and they weren't going that weekend. And I was like, why aren't they going? And Dunk made up some excuse that I just didn't believe whatsoever. But anyway, I didn't tell him that I thought I knew anything. The first day we were down there, nothing happened, and he was acting so calm. So I was like, okay, maybe I've got this wrong. And then the second night we were there, I was like, right, I'm just going to go have a shower And usually if I like leave the room and Dunk's like on his phone or watching TV or something, I'll come back and he'll still be in the exact same position. But I went downstairs, and as soon as I got downstairs, I hear all this banging around upstairs, and I was like, okay, something's definitely going on. So I took my time. I was washing my hair. I was like, I'll give him as much time as possible. I'll blow dry my hair, everything. um, but yeah, I chucked on some fat pants, walked upstairs. Didn't want to act like I knew. And the whole room was like full of candles. It was very cute. He took me over to like a little spot in the room and like a little speech. Don't really remember any of that now because I feel like I was just, I don't know, so in the moment. But yeah, it was very cute. It was exactly what I wanted. I didn't want any big
scene.
public thing or anything like that. It was so nice that it was just us, and it was good timing too because we were probably a couple of weeks away from going to Europe. And part of me was also thinking, oh, maybe he'd do it over there, but I'm so glad he didn't because I knew that every single day I'd wake up there being like, okay, is today the day? That sort of thing. So yeah, it was really nice. We just got to celebrate over there. And also really special, my ring is actually my great grandma's ring, so
wow.
like over 100 years old, which is very cool. And it also happened to be the day that he proposed, also happened to be 6 years, I think, to the date that we actually met, which was completely complete coincidence. But very special.
Oh, so sweet. Such a cool story. And had you been one of those girls that had sort of dreamed about a wedding? Had you sort of thought about what you guys wanted? And did you have that kind of vision in mind? What were those first steps like, finding a venue, all of that?
Yeah, I definitely had like obviously dreamt about getting married, but I'd never really had a vision, I guess, of what that would look like. We definitely didn't jump into planning straight away. Like I wasn't one of those girls that like as soon as you get engaged, it's like, okay, right, we're getting onto it now. And I also wasn't one of those like people that their life kind of revolves around planning a wedding, if that kind of makes sense. So I wouldn't really say that we had a vision or a specific theme in mind or anything like that. But now, like looking back on the day, everything turned out to be almost quite vintage, which I really love. But definitely wasn't planned to be that way. And then I guess we wanted, in terms of the venue and everything like that, we definitely wanted to make it as easy for ourselves as possible. I loved the idea of a marquee wedding where you have a marquee kind of not in the middle of nowhere, but that sort of thing. But I know that so much work is involved in planning that, and I think I've heard they can get pretty expensive doing all that way because you have to literally get everything in. And then the weather, that kind of also scared me. The fact that like, what are you going to do if you've just got a marquee and it's pouring down with rain? Like, is everyone just going to fit into this tiny marquee for the whole afternoon and evening? So I think that kind of steered me away from that. I also loved the Glass House in Auckland, which is a venue. But Dunk's cousin had just recently gotten married there, and Dunk was kind of like, oh, I don't know if it will really feel like my venue when I've just been to a wedding there. So we were in Whangamata, I think, over Christmas. And I came across Black Walnut on Instagram, and we were so close. We were like an hour away. So I was like, hey, let's just go check it out. Because I saw pictures of the glass house they had there, and I was like, well, this is kind of like a good, like, I don't know, in between, I guess, of a marquee and that sort of thing. And we went there and loved it. It was just a beautiful venue. I loved the glass house. As soon as I saw that, I was like, we had to have our reception in there. And then there was obviously an indoor area, so if it was raining, just like so many options. It was so flexible, and they would like provided us with a list of like all the different vendors and stuff that they usually have there and everything. So I think it all seemed very easy. So we just pretty much booked it that day. And that's how we found our venue.
So good. Such a beautiful spot there. And it's definitely so helpful to just kind of have all those options in the one place, and beautiful environment. You don't have to go anywhere else for photos if you don't want.
Yeah,
so nice. I love that glass house too. Yeah. Did you have sort of your top priorities, or what were the most like important elements when planning your day?
Definitely the photographer, I think, was a big thing. Dunk and I both don't really like having our photos taken. So I think, yeah, like finding a photographer that like, yeah, would be like a hype woman for us, or hype man ends up being a hype woman. Yeah, was something that we were really looking for, and like someone who like didn't really focus on too like the still just smiling at a camera shots. We wanted lots of candid shots where we didn't, have to, I don't know, just we made it easy, I guess, with her and everything with Alice. She was great. And like, yeah, she just made us laugh the whole time. Like so many photos, we're definitely not soft smiles. We were, so many amazing shots, and she just captured so many great memories from the day as well. So I think photographer was a really important one for us, and also like food. I don't know. I feel like food, I feel like it does make quite a difference. Like you need to have enough food and like good food as well. And funny enough, I think like both the food and the photographer were two things that we got complimented on the most for the wedding. Like so many people have come to say like, oh, the food was amazing. Like who did you use? And then same with the photographer. Like so many people have asked who we used, and said that she was amazing and stuff like that. So I think those two were probably our top priorities.
So good, makes such a difference. Good food, and then Eilish's work is beautiful, and I know she has heaps of energy, such a good vibe on the day. So your photos turned out beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Did you have something in mind you wanted for your dress? How did that whole process go? And can you talk to us a bit about your wedding outfits?
So I did leave it pretty late. I'm also not someone who loves going and trying on stuff, so I wasn't like jumping at, okay, let's go try on wedding dresses. So I probably left it to like 6 months before, which in my head was like, oh, that's still heaps of time. But realistically, wedding dress, that's not really enough time, depending on, I guess, what you want. So initially I did go to a few bridal stores in Auckland just to kind of get an idea of what style I liked on myself. Like I'd seen lots of dresses that I loved the look of, but like knowing if you're actually going to like them on yourself is quite different. So I went and tried on a few at different stores. And I did end up finding one that I really, really liked. But the timing, I think it was going to get there maybe like 3 weeks before the wedding, and then it needed alterations, and the alterations were going to cost like $1,000. And I don't know, it was just kind of a little bit stressful. And I'd seen Lulu pop up on my Instagram, so she ended up making my dress for me, and I absolutely loved the dresses that she made. Like the material that she uses is stunning. And so I contacted her, went down to meet her, and had like an initial consult. And it's really cool. She like drew me up like a full, what do you call it? There's a name for it. I can't even think of what it's called. Like where they like draw like lots of different options, kind of thing. And I could kind of like pick bits of each one that I liked. And then she kind of came up with a final design. And then I went down again because she's based in Tauranga. To do like a rough try on and everything. And then at that point, when I went down for that one, I said to her like, oh, like I'm thinking about a second dress, but like it seems a shame to completely change like my outfit. Like you spent so much money on this outfit, you're only wearing it for a few hours anyway. Like, and then she's like, oh, well, how about we make your dress into like a 2-piece, and then I can make you a mini skirt as well. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And so my dress actually ended up being a main bodice, a long skirt, and then I had mini skirts to change into later in the night, which was very cool because I still got to wear the same dress, and I reckon I could definitely wear that mini skirt and maybe even the bodice again, not together, definitely and too bridal, but maybe dress them down a bit. So it'd be cool if I could wear them again. And then another cool element was that my bodice also had removable straps. So I could because I'm such an indecisive person. So I was like, oh my gosh, I like it strapless and I like it with straps. What am I gonna do? And she's like, oh, I'll just like have this little hook so you can take them on and off. Yeah. So I managed to swap that out like during the night as well. So absolutely loved my dress. So happy. And like she was so like the process was so smooth. It was great. And then Dunk for his suit. I think initially he was going to go for something like a little bit more summery, probably like maybe like a beige suit or something like that. And then we were talking about, and I was like, look, when are you ever going to wear something like a black tux again? Like, this is your one opportunity to do this. And he's like, I think I'm going to do it. So he actually rented it because, again, when is he ever going to wear it again? Much more cost effective to rent. So he was wearing that for the day. But yeah.
So good. Definitely just looks so sharp with the groom in a tux. Had a few brides that had Lulu dresses as well, and just raving reviews. I adore her work, so beautiful. And I've heard of her doing that for a few people, kind of making it so you can wear it after, or like reworking it into outfits for after the day, which is so cool. I love that because you actually only get to wear it a few hours when you really think about it, and so much goes into it and can be really expensive as well. So, and did you have a bridal party? And if so, how was that process choosing them? Did you find that quite easy?
Surprisingly, yes. I feel like a lot of people say that they find it quite hard. But we did find it pretty easy. I had 2 bridesmaids, and I just picked basically 2 of my closest friends. So Lila was one of them, and I've known her since like we were 5, so this first year of primary school. So she's kind of been there through everything. And then my other bridesmaid was Bex, who I met, who actually got introduced to me through Lila, and I've known her maybe 4, 5, 6 years or so. But we've just become super close, and I just know that they're people that like literally girls that are going to be my friends forever. So it was quite easy for me to pick. And what was amazing too is they were both very new mums for the wedding. So one of them had a 6-week-old and one of 6-week-old, and one of them had a 4-month-old. And so they did manage to do so well on the wedding day, trying to juggle looking after these babies, and then also they were just there like with me the whole day. So it was amazing. And then Dunk, he just had one groomsman. He was going to ask another friend as well, but he just recently moved overseas, and we didn't really want to make him feel like he had to come back specifically for the wedding. But his groomsman was also very close friends. They're actually born one day apart, so they've known each other literally since birth. So we had a very small bridal party, but I think that suited us quite well. We never really wanted lots of people, and so it was pretty easy for us.
And how about the guest list? Did you find that tricky to narrow down?
Surprisingly, no as well. We had we definitely wanted a smaller wedding right from the start. I absolutely hate the attention being on me, so I felt like in my head I was like, a smaller wedding means less people to be looking at me, that sort of thing. So we kind of always thought around 70, and it ended up being 65. I don't know if you can see that small, but in my head that's small. We both do have quite a small network, like small close network of friends, and we don't have massive families either, and we also didn't have the pressure from either of our families to kind of invite people, which was really nice. So I think we were pretty, I guess, intentional about who we asked, because I know you can get carried away. Like, we only really invited people that we have strong relationships with now, and like very recent years. We didn't really go back to like, oh my gosh, I was best friends with this person in high school, but I haven't spoken to them in like 4 years, that kind of thing. I think, which was really good, because having it that small, I think I did manage to talk to everyone there. Even if it wasn't a long conversation, I still managed to say hi and kind of, have a brief conversation with everyone, which was really nice. Yeah, I don't know, even though I did want a small wedding, there was still like times like leading up to the wedding, I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to be too small though? I was like, are there going to be enough people to fill the space, or like, is the dance floor going to be empty? But we didn't have to worry about that at all. Like it was a really nice number. The dance floor wasn't empty. So yeah, I'm really happy with how many people we had there. It was great.
Yeah, that can definitely be a tricky part of planning for a lot of people. But yeah, that's so nice that you had that experience, and yeah, such a good number. I feel like that's perfect. A lot of weddings are kind of 100 or more, which yeah is big, I would say. But yeah, so good and nice, because I don't know how many you can have in that glass house, but I think bigger weddings can't have the reception in that part of the venue. So yeah, lucky that you got to do that. Are you a bride or groom in New Zealand feeling overwhelmed by the thought of your big day? We get it. Planning your dream wedding is a journey filled with excitement and, well, a little bit of stress too. The last thing you want is to worry about the details on your wedding day. That's where the wedding planner comes in. They specialise in wedding day of coordination, ensuring everything runs smoothly from start to finish. They have an experienced team right across New Zealand that takes care of all the details, so you can focus on enjoying every magical moment. And only for listeners of the Kiwi Wedding podcast, mention the podcast when you book and you'll get their professional template pack, which includes your floor plan layout, a script for your MC, a final venue visit checklist with key questions you don't want to forget to ask, and so much more. To secure your date, visit theweddingplanner.co.nz and get the expertise you need to bring your dream day to life. Did you guys have any or many like pre-wedding events leading up to the day? Did you do a engagement party or hens and stags, stuff like that?
We didn't do an engagement party, no, but we did do a hens and stag. My hens was even like a couple of months, I think, before the wedding. It was quite early because obviously Lilla and Bex was still pregnant, like heavily pregnant at the time, and Lilla had recently given birth, so we had to find like a good time that kind of suited them. But yeah, my hens was great. It was perfect for me. We just met at one of their houses. I even had people there fly up from around New Zealand, which I wasn't expecting at all. So it was really nice that they came up. But yeah, we just very chill. We had drinks. We did like a paint and sip kind of thing. Attempted to go out later, but that didn't really happen. And started quite early, so by that point, but that's all right. But yeah, it was a great day. So much fun. Yeah, getting to spend with my girls, especially with girls that I hadn't seen in a little while as well, because they obviously live in different parts of New Zealand. And it was nice too, because I knew I wouldn't be able to spend heaps of time with them at the wedding, so being able to spend that time with them at the hens do, it was great. And then Dunk, he actually had his a week before the wedding.
Risky.
Because of people coming from different parts as well. Like my brother flew over from London for it and things like that. So his was a week before, but yeah, they had a great time. They went and played golf. Bowls, typical lads weekends, but no engagement party or anything like that.
And can you tell us a bit about the big day, maybe those few days leading up to it, and any highlights or favorite moments?
So the day itself was amazing. I feel like everything went so smoothly. I feel like I wasn't trying to organize anything the morning of, which was nice. It was so great. One thing I wouldn't recommend though, it did actually rain on our wedding day, which turned out to be like, I can't imagine it having not rained now. I just felt like it just added something like a little bit extra to the day. We got some amazing photos. The glass house felt cozy and everything like that. But like even like 2 weeks up to the day, like I was literally checking the weather forecast. I want to say like every few hours, and by like 2 days before, when it still said it was going to be raining, I actually got quite down about it, because I feel like when you book a venue, you envision your day a certain way. So I had envisioned our ceremony being outside, either in, they have like a tree chapel there or out on the lawn. And so in my head, like when I saw that it was raining, I was like, oh my gosh, like we've like I've literally like wanted this venue because of these things, and now I'm not gonna have like be able to do my ceremony outside and stuff like that. But then on the day of the wedding, I woke up and it was raining, and like none of that seemed to matter anymore. Like all I cared about was the fact that I was getting married, and like the fact that it was raining. It was like, well, actually, it doesn't matter. Like we have an indoor space to have the ceremony, and we can still use the glass house for the reception. Like, yeah, it really doesn't matter. Like you can't control the weather, but you can control how you react to it. You can plan for it. So like we had bought umbrellas to use for photos. Obviously chosen a venue where they have an indoor option, which I think is a massive thing. Definitely don't check the weather forecast multiple times.
I think every single New Zealand bride does that, honestly, and it's like it'll rain in summer, like you can't predict it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
that's such
you
great
can't
advice.
Control
just
it.
to
Yeah.
embrace it.
Yeah. But yeah, the day itself was amazing. Dunk and I actually stayed together the night before, just because obviously Lola and Bex couldn't stay with me with their babies and stuff like that. And so yeah, we stayed with Dunk, myself, his sister, and her husband, and then his groomsmen and the partner. Which it was a really fun night before. I actually think it helped staying with him. Like I don't know, I felt like a little bit more relaxed waking up in here. I don't know, but no, that was nice. And then the day of, it all went really smoothly. The ceremony was amazing. I think the ceremony was probably what I was most nervous for, like the thought of standing up, everyone like eyes on you, that sort of thing. So that was definitely the most daunting thing. But I mean, when you're up there, you're literally, all you're doing is looking at your partner or to be husband. And so you just don't even think about all the people that are there. But what was really nice was that Dunk's sister was actually our celebrant. So yeah, I think that made me feel a lot more comfortable too, walking up the aisle and seeing those two, like two people that I know really well, was just such a nice feeling. So she became a celebrant leading up to our wedding. I really liked the idea of it being someone that we knew, because they talk about you quite a bit and like your story and everything like that. And it was just so nice because she didn't need to ask us any questions about, oh, what do you want me to say and stuff like that. She could just do it because she knew us. And it was really nice. And she was actually amazing because she ended up being our MC as well, along with her now husband. And everything, it just went so well. They did this really cool thing where, as MCs, they had like made these fake diaries. Like one had a massive C on it and one had a massive D on it. And each time before they like introduced a speech, they'd like read like a bit of our diary. So, but it wasn't our diary. It was just like things that they'd made up that were true, but they'd like made it comedic and stuff like that. And it was great because like every time they came up, people were like, okay, what's going to happen next? And I don't know, it just kept people like really entertained, which was awesome. And I just never seen that, like someone do that sort of thing before. So that was very cool. And I think the reception, just like sitting in the glass house and like looking out at like all your like family and friends and people that are close to you, I don't know, it's such a nice feeling. Like they're all there to celebrate you. Such a nice feeling. And then it's like at the end of our like reception part, as I mentioned earlier, when Dunk and I first met, he sculled the bottle of wine. So we've kind of made that a tradition now. So when we got engaged, he had a bottle of that and we drank some when we got engaged. And then at the end of our reception, we'd poured tiny little bottles for every guest. And that was like our final toast, was that everyone drank the exact same wine, which was awful, like $7 White Cliff
from
supermarket. Awful, so awful. But that was definitely like a highlight too, doing that. Such a great day, loved it. So many great memories and everything like that.
Sounds so good. That's so special that you got to have your sister-in-law doing that. Is she gonna do it for other people now?
I think she might. I mean, I think that's part of it. I think you almost have to. But yeah, I think that's like a thing. Yeah, but she was so good. Like I'm sure she'll have like even like her friends asking her to do it. Yeah,
So much word of mouth for
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like
No,
that. Yeah,
definitely.
they sound amazing. As MCs as well, that makes such a difference when you have like someone engaging
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
definitely.
so fun. What did you find kind of like the hardest part of the whole wedding planning process? Is there anything you look back on and regret or would have done a little bit differently?
Definitely not anything that I'd regret. But I think what I did find really hard is because I wasn't that person that had like the Pinterest board of like exactly what I wanted and had that vision. It was hard to know to kind of like work out between us what it was that we actually wanted versus what we were being influenced to have. Like you go on like my TikTok and Instagram just ended up being like full of wedding stuff, and it's like these are the trends of 2024 or 2025 or whatever. And it was almost like, okay, well, do I have white flowers because this is like the trend, or like, do I actually want white flowers, that sort of thing. So I think that was probably the hardest bit because yeah, I hadn't really gone into it knowing exactly what I wanted. I feel like also like where to draw the line on how far you go with certain things as well. Like I think I was on Instagram and I was on the Black Walnut page, and a wedding came up and they'd like hired all this like beautiful outdoor furniture to have on the lawn, and I was like, oh, that looks so nice. Like we should do that. And then I was like, wait, hang on, do we really need to do that? Like they've got heaps of furniture there already. Am I just doing that because I've seen someone else do it and I think it looks cool, or do I really want that sort of thing? So yeah, I think that was pretty hard. But yeah, we ended up just kind of focusing on the core stuff and doing that really well rather than kind of getting in lots of frills and I don't know, yeah, that sort of stuff. Because realistically, are those the things that people are going to remember? Those little things. I don't know. I feel like you got to remember the days about you getting married, not like yeah, all those
Can
other
go
little things.
overboard
I
with
guess.
all the things.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, that was definitely the hardest thing. But definitely no regrets with what we ended up doing. I feel like we did love everything we did. But yeah, there were definitely times too when I'd like already picked something, like I'd picked the flowers, and then something came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool. And then I had to remind myself, like, no, I've actually picked this because I do love it, and I'm just being, yeah, that's pretty silly, but definitely yeah, hard.
No, so common that you start like doubting your decisions. And yeah, especially if you are engaged for quite a while, or yeah, you see these things popping up and it's like, yeah, you have to draw the line somewhere and be like, okay, I've decided that, end of. But yeah. And did you guys have a wedding budget? If you're happy to talk about what that was or how you found that whole process, did it surprise you, the cost of things? Yeah, how did that go?
I don't think it necessarily surprised me because I just had two Bex and Lila had just recently got married within the last year or so. So I'd kind of got, like, from talking to them, I'd kind of got a rough idea of what they'd spent. So I kind of was expecting to spend around the same. I mean, I guess it still does surprise you as soon as you put wedding in front of something, it suddenly costs like an extra however much. Um, so yeah, I guess, yeah, I wasn't thrown, I guess, by how much things cost. And so we did have amounts that we were kind of expecting to spend. Yeah, it was probably, I'd say, I think initially I was keeping track of everything. We had like a spreadsheet, and I was keeping track of all the big things that you keep track of, I guess. So I think probably between maybe we ended up spending maybe between 45 to 50k altogether, which is probably almost the average now, I'm guessing, with inflation and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, even more than that,
Which is
honestly. But
yeah, which is a lot of money still. But yeah, but then all those like little hidden costs that I feel like came up like a couple of weeks before as well. Like we saw the weather forecast and we're like, I've got to buy heaps of umbrellas, and then I had to buy a steamer for my dress and stuff like that. So there are definitely lots of little hidden costs. But yeah, we probably should have been, I guess, more not strict, but like I wasn't really like fully keeping track of everything. But yeah, roughly, I think all the big things and everything like that, we definitely, yeah.
That sounds pretty normal and so true, just like things you don't think of in the weeks leading up. Yeah, lots of just like extra bits and bobs pop up. Did you guys go on honeymoon straight away? What did planning that look like?
We went away for a few days. We just went down to the Hawke's Bay. We didn't want to go too far, just because my brother was visiting from London, and it was Dunk's mum's. She had quite a big birthday coming up that weekend after the wedding, so we kind of wanted to be around to like see my brother off and then to celebrate with her. So yeah, we did go down to Hawke's Bay for a few days. So it was because we weren't going too far. There wasn't really much planning involved. Like we'd booked some accommodation and then kind of just went from there. Went to a few wineries and stuff like that. But we will probably go somewhere. Well, we will definitely go somewhere this year once we organise it. A little bit further. Where that is yet, we're not sure. Just depend on how much leave and stuff Dunk can get from work. But yeah, we'd definitely like to go somewhere mid-year this year. If we can.
Was there any kind of helpful resources that you used during planning, like different websites, apps, or yeah, to find inspiration or help with finding vendors, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think most of our vendors, as I mentioned earlier, we actually found directly through Black Walnut. Yeah, it was very helpful. They kind of gave us a sheet and they said, like, these are the caterers that we usually use, and here are some photographers in the area. And I kind of went off that because I was like, if these people have been to this venue before, then they're going to know the venue and they're going to know what they're doing and everything like that. So, yeah, I kind of would look them up on Instagram and like, yeah, I think because we weren't in Tauranga, we don't live in Tauranga either. Like I kind of had to, we couldn't go and like meet people, like we'd have to meet them online, stuff like that. Yeah, I was doing it based off, I guess, yeah, other people's recommendations and yeah, like seeing things on Instagram and stuff like that. So yeah, that was really helpful. Them giving us that list, and then yeah, I'd also just go on the Black Walnut Instagram, then look under tag things, and then see who other people would use through that. But I think that's how we found most of our vendors. And then we used With Joy for like our invites. We didn't do paper invites or anything. We just used the website, which we found great. It was free. Yeah, we could send out our invites and like all the different details for the day. So yeah, that was really, really easy to use. It's much easier than trying to find everyone's addresses to try send them a paper invite. Yeah, so I think, yeah, not too many, yeah, I guess resources, mainly just, yeah, those couple of things that we use, but yeah.
Oh, so helpful. Yeah, it's perfect when I mean, I think most venues kind of have that recommendation pack or like, yeah, local good ones in the area and you know they're going to work well there. So helpful. And Instagram as well, always so good. You've given a lot of amazing advice already, but yeah, do you have any kind of thing that you would say to someone planning their wedding at the moment?
I guess the biggest thing, like I said, like with the difficulties thing, is just kind of, yeah, make sure you stay true to yourself and to like what you and your partner actually want. And yeah, I guess just remember what the day is about, and it's about like you guys getting married and yeah, celebrating your love and everything, and not so much about, I guess, how many likes you're going to get on your Instagram post because you've got like the coolest things at your wedding, or yeah, that sort of stuff. And also, I guess I was kind of partly worried, like, oh my gosh, like, are people going to get bored, like, standing around for cocktail or stuff? But don't worry about that. Like, they are there, like, again, to like celebrate. They're going to entertain themselves. They're going to chat to people, everything like that. Don't worry that you have to try and entertain people all the like for the whole time. They're going to be able to do it themselves. I don't know. Yeah, I think just do what you want. Yeah, try not to be influenced by what everyone else is doing or what's cool at the time.
Yeah, such good advice. It's so hard to do for a lot of people, but yeah, really important. I love that. And what is married life like now? Do you feel like you got any of the post-wedding blues?
I actually think I did. I think like just because you I don't know, like your life leading up to the wedding, like you work, you go home, you wedding plan, you go to bed. Like that is just like every single day, that's what you're doing. And then the day comes, it's like over in a flash. It's like literally the best day ever. but then suddenly you're like, well, what do I have to look forward to now? Like, I don't know, everything, like, yeah, it just seems quite, I don't know. So I think definitely like going to the Hawke's Bay and everything was really nice. Like, I had so much fun down there, but then as soon as I got back into work again, I was like, oh. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Now, yeah, absolutely fine now. But yeah, I think I definitely was kind of like, yeah,
just this like
just
come
nothing
down
to.
from a big high,
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like.
exactly. Like, yeah, there's so much anticipation for like this massive event, and then suddenly it's over, and you're like, okay, well, what now? But yeah,
Married life is good, nothing
yeah,
changes.
married life is amazing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, nothing. Well, yeah, for us, nothing much has changed, but yeah, no, married life is amazing.
Oh, so good. Amazing. It's been so lovely to chat to you today. Is there anything else you want to add or that we missed as we wrap up?
I don't think so, but yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been great to chat to you.
Oh, so good. Thank you. I think this is going to be helpful for people. And yeah, we'll share a few of your beautiful photos as well. So yeah, thanks for coming on.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much. So nice to chat to you.